Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. We're back with Everly. She had her bake. We're going to check out her capillaries and see if we can even still see them after the bake. And then we're going to move on. We're going to start giving her some layers. She doesn't have any layers yet. We've been diddling around with just her enhancements, which we needed to do. We needed to take our time on that, and we did. So now we are ready to try to get some of her other stuff done. Let's see. Her mouth looks a lot better now. Doesn't look 100%, but I'm liking it a lot better. And I do still see her capillaries. They are very light, though. Very, very light. I don't know. I really don't know how you're supposed to do them. But she does have them, let's put it that way. She has them. I'm gonna hold her up to the camera. And if you're able to like snap a screenshot and blow the picture up a little bit, you might can see them. My friend said she could see them, but that don't mean you can see them. But okay, so with the color she already is, we're gonna go easy on the paint because she's kind of dark already. And we don't want to make her too dark. That's one of the things we don't want to do. Her modeling still shows a little bit. Her veins still shows. She's looking pretty good, I think. So we're going to just get some sponges up here. And we're going to try to color her one layer of this 05. And after that, I don't know, we have so many sponges started up here. I tend to just throw them back up there and just keep them. After that, we're going to move right on, after her bake, to the warm blush and right on to the blush because she's, like I said, she don't even need some of these layers at all. The only reason I'm putting them on her is so she'll look like she's actually painted because she just still looks plasticky. Without paint on, they look, even if they're dark enough, they look plasticky still, like a kit still. And we don't want that. We want her to look like a baby. So we're trying our best here to make her look like a baby. She's not exactly a baby looking kit to me. She does kind of just look like a doll. But we're going to do our best to make her look a little better. Some kits just look like dolls. I don't care what you do to them, they just look like a doll. And I think Everly might be one of them. I know I have a couple more in the closet. I had before, but I sold them, and I wanted to keep them, but I didn't. I sold them. It was Candy and Kimber, and there were several of them. They just never looked any more than a doll, but they were a pretty doll, if you know what I mean. And I've never had an Everly. I wanted one. I did have her closed eye version, which is Ella, but I didn't keep her either. I don't know. I just sell all my dolls, and most of them, with the exception of the few that I named before. I sell all of my dolls because, well, they're all for sale. There's a price on everything if somebody can meet your price. And at the time, I was thinking, I don't need to collect so many dolls, just my special dolls. And I was thinking, I had weird thoughts. And I did regret selling my Kimber, my Gracie, and my Candy. They were three of my favorite artist sculpts that I had, and they were very, very pretty. I didn't make them. They were made by the lady that made my kits that I mentioned before, that I hired a lady when I first started collecting dolls to make my dolls for me. And she was pretty good at it. She just, I don't know. She started making them very, very red, and I didn't like that. I mean, super red, like red. I know it may not look like she has any at all paint on her when you put this 05 on. One layer is all she's going to get. And it may look like she doesn't have anything, but it is paint and it is on her. And I think it helps to change their appearance a little bit from a plasticky doll to a baby. It's a layer and it's going on her. She's dark enough. She doesn't need to be real dark. She's as dark, I bet, as Martin is, and he's already painted. And she's not even painted yet. This is her first layer. And so, you know, putting lots of layers on her is just going to make her super dark. And do we want our doll that dark? I mean, I do want a dark baby, but I don't know that I want one that dark. And it's not going to make her look ethnic or anything. It's just going to make her look like she's heavily painted. It's going to look like, oh, I don't even know what to compare it to. It's going to look thick and just bad. It'll just look bad. Putting a lot of coats of paint on her because she's already so dark. So I'm going to stick with the 3, and we're going to see how she comes out. And 3 coats, 1 of each. And I think she'll come out okay. If she just looks super pale, or I don't know, or just really, really bad or something at the end, we can always add a little more paint to her, which I don't like to go out of order on the paint colors either. I'm a little stickler for some things, and other things, I don't mind breaking those rules, let me tell you. But anyway, she just needs to be colored. She needs paint on her, and I think that's going to make all the difference when it comes to whether she looks like a doll or a baby. She's never going to really look like a baby. She just doesn't look like one. And she's not, she is a sculpt. She's not a real born. She's just somebody sat down and just thought up in their imagination what a baby doll will look like, and they just sculpted her. And that's fine too. I like the sculpts. They're different. They have a little bit different attributes as the real borns, and if they have real nice limbs, like she has nice limbs, I think. But they're so dark that if you put them on another doll, you'd see that. You'd notice that. You know, sometimes I will buy a kit if it's on sale, even if I don't like the kit, because I do like the limbs. And I can switch them around, and I can give some limbs I don't like to the kit I don't like, and I can give those pretty limbs to a doll that I do like. And I've done that many, many times because, well, they had the wrong configuration of limbs, or their limbs were just weird or something. But when the color of the limbs is drastically different, I don't mean a little bit different, I mean it's drastically different, in that they're way darker or way lighter, or, you know, just the wrong kind of vinyl, or you're going to see that. You're going to be able to tell, oh, those limbs do not go with that body. Now, if you were painting a dark baby anyway, you could get by with it with Everly's limbs. I love Everly's limbs. I like open hands. I like, I don't mind if 1 or 2 fingers are bent down, but when the whole hand's just folded up, it's just a ball. I don't know. But I'm liking Everly very much. I think she's going to come out good. I hope so anyway, because, you know, I've spent a lot of time on her enhancements, including learning to do capillaries. She is part 2 in the capillaries because Martin was part 1, and I'm going to continue to practice my capillaries very slowly. I'm not going to be giving my dolls heavy capillary action because I am not confident with capillaries yet. I don't really know where they're supposed to go or how they're supposed to go. And if you see 1 or 2 capillaries on them, that's fine. But if I put a bunch on there and they're all in the wrong places, or they're too dark or too light, or just weird looking, then you've got too much capillaries going on there. Okay, I'm not coming back to this, so we'll put this up. I'm going to go over her again with a drier sponge and try to get some more of the heavy stuff off of her. without touching her too much. Here we go, Everly. She's supposed to look like she's laughing. She just looks like she has her mouth open to me. I've seen the picture of her finished kit that the prototype artist did, and it does look good. She does look like she's laughing. But can I make her look that way? I don't know. And Ella, her closed-eyed version, is asleep. So one's laughing and giggling like, and the other one's asleep. It's a drastic difference. And Ella has, I think Ella has different limbs. I'm not sure. They often, Bountiful Baby at least, photograph the dolls that are supposed to be the same doll, different, sleeping or awake version, together. And Ella and Everly were photographed together. And then they put in somewhere in the description that they're supposed to be twins or something. Unlike the real-borns, they have the same name, they have the same limbs, they have everything the same. The artist's kits sometimes come years later, like they might have had, let's say, Ella for a long time before they made Everly. So whoever sculpted her made her different limbs. They don't always do that. So some of the dolls share limbs with even dolls that have nothing to do with them. Like there's a series of larger dolls. Michelle's one, and Grant, and Elliot, and they all share the same limbs. I guess nobody wanted to sculpt more limbs when limbs really don't matter that much on a doll. To a lot of people. They do to me, but to a lot of people they don't. But that's got her pounced again, and it looks like she's gonna be a little shiny. I don't know if that means after the bake she'll be shiny or not. I'll put all these up because she's not getting any more 05. Her next color is gonna be Warm Blush. And we will do that one coat as well. But anyway, like Avery and Aubrey, Denise Pratt sculpted them. She sculpted the closed-eyed version too. I believe that's Avery. I think Aubrey's the awake one. Sometimes I'm wrong about that, but I think that's right. And then she decided one day she wanted an open-eyed version. So she literally took the sculpt of the closed-eye one and just sort of altered it to make it have open eyes. She didn't even resculpt her or anything. She just opened her eyes. And we have to do a little work around the eyes after that. But anyway, that's a little lesson on how they sculpt dolls. It's hard. I know that because I've seen these people in our doll group who are wannabe sculptors, and they are sculpting dolls out of clay, so that later they can be molded and stuff. And it takes a long time to get the eyes just right, and the cheeks just right, and the nose just right. And they'll show versions of it, and they go, still not done yet. And they'll look bumpy, kind of. And then I guess the last coat, the last thing they do after they get the face the way they want it, is they smooth out, clay would have bumps in it all over where you sculpted it. So they have to smooth all that out and make it smooth. It must be really, really hard to do. And a lot of artists who are sculpting dolls are only sculpting heads. Like, you can go to a website like Dolls by Sandy, or that other one. I can't think of the name. McPherson's. And they'll just have heads. The head's $89 or something. It's outrageous. But then to get limbs, you go through their limb selections. They have like different styles of, say if it's an 18-inch doll, limbs for an 18-inch doll, and you pick the limbs you want. But they're not specific to that doll. They're pretty much generic. Now some of the really, really higher sculpts, they do have limbs, but some of the others, they just don't have them. But anyway, we're going to get Everly back in the oven and get her baked up, and we're going to work on getting her finished tonight. I'd like to give her some hair. I don't know what color I want to give her. I feel like she's a dark-headed baby. I really don't know. But anyway, I'd like to remind everybody to please like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.